Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you very much for yesterday's feedback. It was quite useful. I also saw in the feedback there are like 10 teachers from Sacred Heart School. I'm sorry, Holy Spirit School. Is that ilang-ilang, Quezon City? I will have to get reactions on. I cannot see the reactions. But is it ilang-ilang Quezon City? I'm not getting any. Maybe if you put a thumbs up or something like that, a yes in the chat box, I'll know. You see, my connection with, if it is, ayan, okay. BF Homes, okay, I see. This is not the Sacred, the Holy Spirit School I'm familiar with in New Manila. This is BF Homes. Okay, not familiar with that one. You see, my sister studied in this school in Ilang-Ilang, New Manila, Holy Spirit School, run by Holy Spirit Madres. And I used to fetch them in the afternoons when they were grade school. Then later on, they transferred to Benjola. Anyway, as Man said, let's get on with it, no? I was looking for a video, or sorry, an image of a man tying his shoelaces with the laces breaking. I couldn't find any like that. Very particular. Maybe if I had more time. The only reason I mention this is that when I was a kid, I saw a book with a cartoon of a man tying his shoelaces, and as he was tying them, they broke, and then he has this face of anger and annoyance, and then the caption said something like, how we deal with frustration will determine to a great degree how happy we will be in life. Wow, I thought to myself, that's something. How we deal with frustration actually determines our happiness. And how we help our students deal with their own frustrations will also to a great degree affect their happiness. That's how important this is. But usually when we mention the word challenge, when they hear that, I don't know now, huh? But before, this is very common, my gosh, no? The ice bucket challenge and things like that. And I think some of our teachers were invited to join the ice bucket challenge, which had its own good point, but it became very superficial at a certain point and lost its deeper meaning of awareness and fundraising and things like that. No? Then I found out there are lots of these challenges online, YouTube, TikTok, and some of them, most of them it seems have not come to the Philippines. Buti na lang, no? That guy in the middle is using a power drill to eat corn on the cob. So it rotates, the drill rotates the cob as he chews on it. I don't know what other crazy idea people get from YouTube and TikTok, but these are some of them. Now, of course, these are not the challenges we want our students to focus on. This kind of challenge is just characterized by these, diba? You don't want to be left behind by the uso, by the, I don't know, by the fad. It's also a bit maybe dangerous, a bit exciting, a bit, I don't know, risk laden, no? Plus you get likes, or you get thumbs up, you get shares and things like that. These are the metrics of the social media generation. You know, how many likes, how many friends, how many shares, etc. No? Then of course the result of the second and third is that feeling of a rush of thrill. No? Now that's not all necessarily bad. No. Before we go into what the challenge is, I want everyone, at least those who think they can, put a challenge they've overcome. Not necessarily recently. Not too personal, please. A short one in the chat box. something that you thought you could never really overcome, but you managed to. I can start. I can put my own. Ayan. Yan yung, this is a long time ago, ha? Really long time ago. Nothing too personal, please, huh? Nothing too, intimate. Oh, gosh. Colleague with a difficult character, my gosh. Notice the word difficult. It's not necessarily evil or bad, but just difficult. Mahirap pakisamahan, as we say, Yeah. Oh, kami lang ba, may challenge na nalampasan, no? It took me, in terms of years that passed, 9 years to finish my master's degree. Naglapse na. I had to appeal for an extension twice, I think. But nagkulong ako sa Baguio ng 3 linggo. I asked a friend, can I stay in your house? Can I borrow a room? Stayed for one summer break, 3 weeks. Got most of it done. Then eventually I finished. Dealing with, oh my gosh, yes. Let's not forget the online classes were quite difficult for a lot of people, teachers included. I don't know about you, but in my school, when we came back from the lockdown, from the online classes, when we got together for the first time, almost everyone had gained weight, some more than others, no? And everyone had to have new clothes made. Anyway, I think okay, you don't have to force the issue here. Expect more than this, But these are typical issues. They can be quite challenging, quite weighty, no? Especially online classes were 2 years, no? And I think even when we were trying to move to normalcy, some schools were still in blended learning. So what is a challenge anyway? It's not the YouTube viral thing. First of all, okay, I think this is as comprehensive as we can get. It's some kind of task, undertaking, assignment, problem, issue, whatever you want to call it. No, some kind of imposition, if you wish, that has some degree of importance. That's why you cannot just set it aside. You cannot just forget it or ignore it. It has some importance. It has some weight. It has some bearing. No? Yan, halimbawa, yung online classes. I mean, obviously, we just had to adapt. We just had to adjust and learn. No? But even after our training, we had training sessions. We had dry run classes. I don't know about your school. We had dry run classes with student volunteers. When the whole thing began, hirap pa rin kami. Hirap pa rin kami. But okay, you cannot just brush it aside. Not only important, but daunting, intimidating, overwhelming. Di ba? And then we know also this challenge, whatever it is going to require some effort, time, resources, I don't know, help, di ba? So you're not going to be satisfied with just, I mean, it's not going to be enough to just use our own wits. We have to ask for help. And when we were doing online teaching, I'm sure, we had some teachers who took to the online teaching very easily. Others struggled, and it was not a function of youth. Some young people had to struggle with the technology. Some more senior teachers took to it more easily. So it was not a function just of youth. Anyway, okay. If you search for the word challenge, what usually comes up is the image of a man about to climb a mountain. See, and facing the mountain, you can imagine what sort of hesitation is going through his mind. Do I really want to do this? Uh, is there still time to back out and things like that? No, mountain climbing is usually what we have to face. But actually, ito so this guy gave a talk, and he was asked what for his topic was, what do I consider the most important challenge facing mankind? I have a fundamental answer, he says. The greatest challenge facing mankind is the challenge of distinguishing reality from fantasy, truth from propaganda. Perceiving the truth has always been a challenge to mankind, but in the information age, or as I think of it, the disinformation age, it takes on a special urgency and importance. So you might think, some people will say, oh, the greatest challenge now is environmental, or the greatest challenge is war, or the greatest challenge is urban decay, or desertification, or deforestation, or mental health, or yung ganon, ano? Sabi ni, sino to? Michael Crichton, author of Jurassic Park, Andromeda Strain, creator of Westworld, ER. You might think, ano lang naman yan? Fiction writer lang naman. Well, yeah, okay. He's not, as he admitted in this speech, he's not an academic. He's not a professor. He has he has a medical degree from Harvard University, from where he graduated summa cum laude. See, so this guy has an acquaintance with science. See, and to work on his science fiction work, his novels, he had to do a lot of scientific reading. So it's not like he's a stranger to science. He says, this is the greatest difficulty now. It's so hard to tell fake news, di ba, from the truth. It's very hard to distinguish exaggeration from reality. Now, this takes place on a global level. It can take place on a national level. See, I mean, our last election, we had all kinds of problems regarding fake news. It also takes place on an individual level. We ourselves have difficulty understanding ourselves. See, we ourselves have difficulty coming to terms with ourselves. We ourselves tend to exaggerate things about ourselves. Kung tayo ganon, lalo pa yung mga bata, lalo pa yung mga estudyante natin, no? So perceiving the truth has always been a challenge. It might be a greater challenge now because of internet. I mean, maybe more distraction, I don't know, no? But certainly the urgency, the importance is as great now as it always has been if we're talking about knowledge about the self. See, knowledge about one's purpose, knowledge about one's potential, even potential. No? Sometimes we tend to overstate our potential. Sometimes we tend to underrate it. No? So we always have that problem. So, okay. See, the greatest challenge is not climbing mountains. It's knowing what mountains are worth climbing. It's not jumping at the first thing that presents itself as a challenge, as difficult, as awesome, as overwhelming, and say, yeah, that's it. Let's go for it. No, teka muna, no? We tend to react on an emotional level, see? And think, oh, it's daunting, it must be worth it. Wait, it might be worth it, it might not. See, it's not just enough to say it's a mountain, therefore we should climb it. Teka muna, no? Is it worth climbing? Is there some purpose in climbing the mountain? Is there something beyond it? No? Is it just the thrill? See, kung mountain climbing, you're after the thrill, I guess. No? You're after the thrill. You're after the bragging rights, maybe. No? But not all challenges are like that. Let's see. Hey, like we said before, no? Just because something is a viral fad, or something has a bit of risk involved, or something will get us likes or shares or give it a rush, doesn't mean it's important. Doesn't mean it's worth it. Just because you have all of these factors. Then life is more complex than that. Huh? Okay. Ako. When we confront a student who is stressed out, And it might happen, it might not. You know, if it's a grade school kid, you might be just thinking, minsan child stress, di ba? Uh, sometimes children can be stressed out over what you might think are very small things, like, you know, he's writing and the pencil lead broke. Para sa kanya, malaking crisis na yun, ano? Or um, he can't find his pencil or ruler or something like that. No, there are instances of child stress. No, he's in the big school for the first time, and I remember, gosh, I must have been grade 2. I entered the wrong classroom. I entered a grade 5 or grade 6 classroom by mistake. And I don't remember if there was a teacher there. But when I went in, I immediately noticed that the chairs looked enormous and the students looked gigantic. They were only grade 5 or grade 6. I don't even remember how I ended up on that floor. I think maybe I don't even remember how I ended up in that classroom. And I remember getting scared and running out. But you know, the grade 5 kids or grade 6 kids were very, I remember them being very nice. Asking me parang, bakit ka nandito? Anong classroom mo? No? They were asking me things like that, no? In a very gentle tone, huh? Saan klase mo? And then, I just ran out. Stressed out. So, when you confront a kid who's stressed out, sometimes our tendency is to get stressed out because they're stressed out, you know? Teka muna, time out. Ano bang problema? No? Minsan malit na bagay lang, no? Minsan malit na bagay lang. Of course, sometimes objectively it's malit na bagay. Subjectively, it can be malaking bagay. But at times you need to take a step backwards. Ask the kid, teka muna, kalma muna. Ano ba nangyayari? Kaya natataranta siya minsan, nagkukwento, teka, relax lang. Kalma muna. Okay, ano ba nangyari? And then sometimes you'll find out, maybe it's a time management issue, but you know, sometimes it's setting priorities. Sometimes a kid is a people pleaser, no? Very hard to say no. Sometimes there's some leadership problem. He's the leader and he's not doing a good job of it. Or he's part of a group and the leader is not doing a good job of it, no? You know, you find out, okay. Ano ba problema? Sometimes it's this, sometimes it's something else. But the challenges, I sometimes tell my students who are, buti kung stressed out lang. Minsan galit, ano? Minsan parang not only stressed out, but even resentful, bitter about life. Sabi ko, alam mo yung tawag dyan sa dinadaanan mo? Ang tawag dyan, buhay ng tao. Ang tawag dyan, life. Okay? Yung dinadaanan mo, dinadaanan ng lahat ng tao. Kahit mga teacher. No? So, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it works to calm them down. Sometimes it calms them down later. So, you know, we don't overreact when they are stressed out. No? All right. Okay, so what is a challenge? Sabi natin, it's a task. It's an undertaking, it's some assignment, it's some requirement, some problem, some issue, whatever you want to call it, you know? Calling out to you. Calling out to you and telling you, you know, work on this, do this, no? Finish this, get this done right, no? It has some importance. Otherwise, you could just brush it aside. Okay, tignan natin yan. No? It looks daunting. It looks intimidating. No? It looks like something beyond our capacity. No? So, tignan natin yan. No? Oh, okay. Alam natin to, di ba? Fight or flight. Ano dyan? I don't know if that's the right word. Instinctual, automatic. Of course, we want them as much as possible to be in fight mode, di ba? Fight in the sense of confronting the issue, meeting it head on, doing something about it, not simply flight, yung bang evasion, no? Ano yun? Evading conflict. O gano'n. Minsan, conflict is sometimes good. Conflict makes us uncomfortable. Conflict makes us, I don't know, no? Feel ill at ease and uncertain. But sometimes conflict is good. You don't want them in flight mode. You want them in fight, number one. But there are others. Sometimes they're in freeze mode, which is actually a kind of flight. They freeze. Parang they don't know what to do. They are, the deer caught in the headlights. They don't know where to turn. They don't know the next step. See? Or, I don't know, maybe this is the worst. I'm not sure. They are not real about how big it is. See? They are not realistic about the amount of time or effort it takes to solve the problem. See? Boy, we had this, before we had this major project of students requiring them to write a play, produce it and present and stage it, and collect and sell tickets. So iba-ibang grupo yon. Someone in charge of script writing, someone in charge of acting and the actors and the directors, someone in charge of props, someone in charge of marketing, mga ganon, no? There was one group that was deficitary even before they started staging it. They were already negative. They had spent too much money. And you know on what? On food. Pag practice, yung director would call, director ba siya? Basta he would call for food to be delivered. Mga pizza, mga ganon, And the guy in charge of money, I mean, that was his role, treasurer or finance or something like that, was telling him, we're going to run out of money at this stage. And the guy said, no, we're going to sell this many tickets, okay? We're going to price them at this much, see? We're going to earn this much, see? Ay, nako. Sabi ng mga kasama niya, he was in Fantasyland. He was spending money before it came in. And they were deficitary before they could even start. So anyway, they had to do some scrambling and intervention and that sort of thing, no? But yun nga, no? Yung guy in charge of finance, I think was at number 3. You know why? Because he was being accused of mishandling money. Because he's in charge of finance. And then he said, no, I haven't touched the centavo. Sabi niya, no? We haven't collected yet. We haven't sold tickets yet. We haven't a single centavo yet. So you cannot say that I mishandled the money. There is no money. So it was the director or anyway. Yeah. You have to get real. Sometimes they think it's as easy as getting here, no? Yung bang, that's all, no? They don't know. Bago ka makaabot sa ganyan, sa, the posture of triumph, of achievement, dadaan ka talaga sa hirap. See? Dadaan ka sa hirap. And if those who think that they can get here without passing through this are in Fantasyland. Yeah, number 4. They're in Fantasyland. They're in cloud cuckoo land. See? They think it's just a matter of, pressing enter or go or something like that, clicking, no, it's not, It really requires a lot of effort. Takes a lot of effort, time, resources, planning, and planning is not just pencil pushing, scheduling, it's monitoring, adjusting, and all that will take a lot of effort. See, the challenges can be like that. They can be anything, as we'll see later. Okay. Here's what you have to tell the students in whatever form. Okay. The greatest resources are within. You don't have to use those words exactly. The greatest resources are within. Your mind, your will, your focus, your energy. See, The greatest resources are within. It's not the money that helps. It's not the equipment that helps. It's not the technology, the apps that help. Those all help. It's how we use them. It's our mind and our will. It's our focus, or whatever you want to call it. No? The greatest resources are within. So you see, the tendency of many kids is to rely only on the technology, no? Or to rely only on material resources, rather than the planning. Break down the thing into parts. Okay, break down the duties into roles of people. No, you have to break things down, simplify, break them down into components. See, and then work on the components. What components can be addressed simultaneously? What components have to be addressed sequentially? Ay nako. Now, that's where we can come in. We cannot just assume that they know how to do the planning. In fact, well, after a while, we realized these major projects sometimes needed closer faculty supervision. At least closer faculty supervision. Not necessarily taking over, no? But at least, periodic reports, troubleshooting, feedback, etc. Before the thing gets too big and it explodes. So yeah, students have to realize the data sources are within, they're within your reach, but you have to summon them up. All right, let's see how that's done. Oh yeah, here, among the greatest resources are people, your friends, your family. See? Your teachers, your mentors, your counselors, your class advisors. The greatest resources are right there already. Now, granted, some teachers are more, what is the right word? More helpful than others. I'm not sure that's the right word. Some teachers are more patient and considerate than others. Some class advisors are more concerned than others. You can't assume lahat sila pantay-pantay in terms of being concerned or being helpful or being considerate or things like that. You can't always assume. Yeah, I had a class once that complained about their math teacher. Every time now they ask a question, he gets mad now. Again, I take that with a grain of salt. They said, "Sir, pag nagtatanong kami, nagagalit eh. Sinasabi niya, dapat alam na raw namin." Sabi nga, but sir, minsan we just need some, refresher, reminder, But he just dismisses the question. Dapat alam niya na yan, So, if it's something that requires basic help, maybe it has to be done after class. Ganun din sa class advisory, Minsan nagkakagulo na yung klase, hindi sila nagtutulungan, nag-iintrigahan. Ay nako, we have had class advisory classes with what we called the imaginary leaders and the real leaders. The imaginary leaders are the ones who are elected. No? They're not necessarily the real leaders. Not necessarily. The real leaders are the ones who take the initiative. The real leaders are the ones students turn to. The ones who win the election, maybe, maybe not. No? But yun nga, all of those resources can come to play. See, to address challenges. Sometimes a student just has to ask help from a classmate, from a, I don't know, kabarkada, as simple as that. But they don't. Wala, it doesn't occur to them. It just doesn't occur to them. Ayan. Okay, let's get into the tips. Let's get into the concrete. Beware of default encouragement. Kaya mo yan. You know where I heard this from once? I heard this from from a parent. Okay, those of you who are parents know this. The art of being a parent is really learned on the job. You learn on the fly, as they say. um, you are really just groping from day one. You have some vague idea of how to go about it. Maybe because you're an uncle or an aunt, or because you're a kuya or an ate, or you saw how your parents did it. But most of the time, the art of being a parent really is uh, learned on the job. Now, the one who told me this was a parent who said he learned somewhere that you have to give tasks to the eldest siblings. So yung ate sa kanila, I think he had 5 kids, yung ate sa kanila, ginawa niyang parang assistant parent. I'm not sure what he had them do, I'm not sure. But he learned later on that it wasn't working. The daughter, the eldest, would come up to them and say that the kids weren't cooperating. The younger siblings weren't cooperating. And they said, hindi, sige, kaya mo yan. That's all they would say. Kaya mo yan. Just do it, And looking back, they said they shouldn't have put her under that stress of just thinking they were encouraging her by telling her, kaya mo yan. Rather than asking her, okay, sige, let's say her name is Anna. Anna, ano problema, no? And then she might say, hindi sila sumusunod. Si ganun, umaakyat dun sa aparador. I tell him not to go up, but he goes up anyway. Okay. So maybe let's do it like this. Sabihin mo ganun. Let's assign you just 1 or 2 at a time rather than 3 or 4, no? I mean, in fairness, the parents weren't doing this to so they could relax, so they could watch TV while no. They really wanted to train the ate to be more responsible and things like that. But they should have supervised more closely. They should have tried to get more feedback and then intervened, and then the encouragement will be real, see, rather than vague na, hindi, kaya mo yan. It is meaningless to the poor kid, She had to learn the hard way, yan, nako. You might think, I did for a long time, that all praise is good. You might think that all praise is good. No, it turns out not. There is a tendency, less in the Philippines, more in American schools. I base this on accounts that I've read of American schools and people who have sent their kids to American schools. Teachers in American schools, it seems, have the tendency to overpraise. A kid throws a piece of paper in the wastebasket and gets praised. Good job. Parang lahat na lang good job. The kid puts his bag into the locker. Good job. The kid sharpens his pencil. Good job. The kid does everything. Everything na lang is good job. At that point, praise becomes meaningless. Praise becomes empty. No? Pagka na lang, at every turn. Okay, that's one. That's poisonous praise. Maybe not necessarily poisonous, but not effective. There is praise that arises if there is some kind of strained relation between parent and child, or between student and teacher. See, may strained relation. The praise is taken with a grain of salt. The kid doesn't take the praise that seriously. Pagka yung nanggaling sa teacher na hindi niya gusto, or galing sa parent na, hindi niya kasundo, it's not going to hit home. It's not going to work. If the intent is to encourage through praise, no, it's not going to work. Now, we might think that, okay, assume praise is merited. Praise is warranted. Assume the praise is for something that real achievement. You might think that publicly announcing it to the class that so and so did very well in this last test and topped it or something like that. Not necessarily. You could actually put the kid on the spot, depending again on many things. I found out that there are some kids who are uncomfortable with being praised publicly. Of course, the intention is to help him, face a challenge more, but sometimes it just calls undue attention to him and puts pressure on him. Sometimes he gets a feeling that, people think that the reason he's being praised is because, they didn't really expect him to do well. The teacher didn't really think kaya niya. See, the teacher thinks lowly of him. So suddenly he does well, he praises him. But yung context hindi positive. Hindi positive. See? So, well, what praise works? Well, it depends. Sometimes I've had students who told me that just to write on the test paper, very good, keep up the good work, or something like that, can have very positive impact. It can. No? What can happen also is, what can work is you pull the kid aside and ask, okay, you did very well. What did you do right this time that, maybe before you didn't do? Yeah, that way it gives him a chance to reflect and repeat, diba? Cycle of excellence. So he might say, well, sir, I didn't cram this time, no? Or I sought help from a classmate this time, or sir, I did more exercises this time, or ma'am, I read the article twice rather than just once. Ayan, okay, very good. See, that effort pays off. See, so it's not just the grade, it's not just the outcome, it's the effort, it's the willingness to make sacrifice, to do something extra, ganon. That's not poisonous praise, I think. But praise, I learned, is an art. Akala ko basta lang ganon, hindi pala. Hindi pala. See? Oh, yan. Beware of poisonous praise. Set them up to succeed. Set them up to succeed. Well, sometimes we think if we put them under very challenging circumstances, sink or swim, they will, rise to the occasion, they will adjust, they will, just summon up resolve that they did not have before. From our point of view, it's sink or swim. It's possible from their point of view, it's sink or sink. No? It's possible. See, then they get overwhelmed. See, babalik sila ron sa fight or flight or freeze or fantasy. No? Babalik sila ron sa flight, freeze, or fantasy. Because they're just overwhelmed. No? But sometimes you have to help them. You have to help them. Okay. What do you think is the problem? Yeah. Start with that. Diba? Self-reflection. What do you think is the problem? See, I noticed that you're having some difficulty reaching the passing score, or what exactly do you think you need help in? Yeah, so may self-reflection, pag yung mga bata mas maliliit, mga grade school, sometimes they're not in a position to do the self-reflection. You have to be the one to, especially mga primary, sometimes the problems have to do with motor skills, diba? Sometimes motor skills, sometimes motor development. I remember when one of my kids was learning how to write, and he would have homework. Konting homework lang, nursery. Parang 10 minutes lang, write some letters. Very, very little work, I thought, but he would quit after 1 or 2 letters, and he'd say he's tired. And then when I told the teacher, she started observing more closely. Then she noticed he had underdeveloped hands. Masyado maliit yung kamay. Kaya nahihirapan dun sa pencil. So he had to have yung parang triangle, 3-sided pencil that would be easier for him to grip. And I think it had a bigger lead. See, so yun. So he was able to manage with that, still with some difficulty, but at least the teacher was very helpful in determining what was wrong. See, so if we set them up to succeed, we try to make sure that conditions are there. Halimbawa, yun nga, self-analysis? Is it material resources? Is it some circumstance? Halimbawa, he gets home very late. He goes home by carpool, but my kids had this problem before. They were the ones fetched first in the afternoon, in the morning, and brought home last in the evening. No? So pag-uwi, pagod na talaga. No? They were really tired from waking up early, and then the long trip home, and then they would have to do their homework. And I'm not sure how we address the problem. It's a circumstantial problem. It's a circumstantial problem. Sometimes something can help, like getting them to take a shower, have a light merienda, and then set them up with their work, no? And that's it, no? Yung digital generation, minsan iba yan, ha? Iba yan. One dad was telling me, he was so surprised at the way his daughter was studying, no? Laptop on the table, iPad on the lap, okay? Cell phone on the side. So she's going from laptop to iPad to cell phone, back to the laptop. Tapos sa laptop pa, nakita niya yung mga tab, parang 5 or 6 tabs open all at the same time. Tapos merong isang Instagram, merong isang kung ano-ano, YouTube. Sabi niya, paano ka mag-aaral niyan? No? Hindi, okay lang yan, dad. No? And in a case like that, I would usually tell the parents, let them find out for themselves if it works. If they study that way with all the competing elements, but their grades are okay, then maybe you can say, sige na. Now, they study that way, and then the grades are low. Teka muna. Then you have to tell them, no? Teka muna. These circumstances are not helping you. See, I need to help you to set up the circumstances that will help you. If you say it helps you to listen to music while you study, okay, tignan natin. Bakit ganyan yung grades mo? I was mentor to some students who say, yeah, sir, I listen to music while I'm doing my homework. Yeah? Does it work? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, what are your grades? And then, pag mabababa yung grades, kala ko it works. So, you have to, nasa fantasy world minsan sila. They're convinced this is what works. You have to show them, no, that's not what works. See, those are not the circumstances that lead to success. Okay. Ako. Sorry, adults have this tendency to resort to default solutions or default advice. Halimbawa, nahihirapan sa grades. Madali lang yan. No? Kailangan mo lang ng study schedule. Kailangan mo lang makinig ng mabuti sa klase. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe there are deeper problems. Maybe the kid is being bullied and he doesn't want to say. No? Maybe the kid doesn't have friends and so he feels very awkward in class. See, it's not necessarily an intellectual problem that or a time management problem, so he has to just schedule his day and then he'll be okay. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. No? Hirap ka sa math, madali lang yan. See, practice lang yan. Listen lang ng mabuti. Gawin mo lang yung seat work ng mabuti. I remember a classmate, in math. He was copying the solution on the board. And the teacher ran out of blackboard space at the bottom. It happens, diba? He ran out of space at the bottom. So he put an arrow and wrote an arrow like that to the part where he continues. Then he saw a student in front copying the arrow. And I said, why are you copying the arrow? Sir, I'm copying. Yeah, but that's not part of the solution. That's just to help you see where I continue from where this part breaks off. So after that, he was I imagine, the teacher was very puzzled this student had a very external or very automatic idea of how learning takes place. See? In fact, yung mga ganyan copying solutions, I don't know if that really helps. I don't know if that really helps. See, I mean, you could if you wish. But I don't remember copying a lot of solutions when I was learning math, no? What mattered was doing it and then being guided as you do it. See? And knowing why you're doing what you're doing. No? So, math is more than just, minsan kasi yung mga bata, ano sila they are in plug and play mode. One teacher called it parang ano lang, he just knows the method, but he doesn't know the logic behind it. He doesn't know why he's doing what he's doing. See, so there's lack of not just how to do it, but why he's doing it the way he's doing it. No? So when he divides both sides of the equation by the same number, and you ask him why you're doing that. Sabi ni ma'am no. Why are you doing that? What's the logic behind that? It's because whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other side of the equation. Those are permissible operations. And division is what is called a permissible operation. No? And that way, the equation, the integrity of the equation is maintained. Ganun ba? No, so it's not just a matter of practice, no, but also knowing why they do what they do. Ay, naku, magulo sa klase, send out, di ba? Hindi ko alam sa inyo, ha? I don't think we do this anymore, but when I was principal, sometimes a student would knock on my office and I'd say, yes, what is it? Sir, I was sent out. I was told to go to you. Why? I don't know. The teacher told me to go to the principal's office. Okay. Tell him I talked to you and told you to go back. Then later on, I would tell the teacher, please don't send the misbehaving students to me. What am I supposed to do with them? Pag tinanong ko, what did you do? He's going to say, I don't know. I wasn't doing anything. Palagay mo, umamin siya. I was noisy. Okay, what do I do now? I tell him, don't be noisy, then go back. And then, misbehavior, minsan may mga tayo default solution. Send him to the principal's office, make him stand in the corner, make her, I don't know, whatever. You sometimes have to find deeper reason behind the misbehavior. Sometimes misbehavior is not misbehavior. I remember I had a student who would keep talking while I was conducting class, no? Then I thought to myself, oh boy, this kid's going to give me trouble, no? Then, a few more days, I observed him more closely. Hindi siya magulo. Hindi siya magulo. He's reacting to what's going on. He's repeating what I've said, because he heard me say it. Or he finds it funny, and so he comments a bit, no? Pero hindi siya nagdi-disrupt. It's not misbehavior. He's just reacting to what's going on, no? And sometimes he turns to his seatmate and gives a short comment, but that's it. It's not misbehavior. Sometimes we think it's misbehavior, but it's not. No? Opposite sex. What is our? I don't know about lady teachers, lady counselors. Sometimes, yung male teachers, class advisors, counselors, sometimes the tendency is just to be dismissive. Wala yan, Maraming babae dyan, ka mag-alala, that doesn't really help. That doesn't really help. Rather than listening and getting some kind of, rather establishing some sympathy before. Hindi ko alam ngayon. I think our mentors are better trained. We don't just dismiss issues that way. So okay. Sorry, let me go back. This is to beware of default solutions. Let the solutions be real. Get them into something new. Halimbawa, a guy has never been leader. Make him the leader in a start small, maybe a group discussion. He can be the one to report. Kung kaya. Don't give him something too big or don't give her something too difficult just yet. no? It can be anything also, even something like an extracurricular activity or something to engage in during the weekend, or just something to get them out of their comfort zone. If they're very shy, maybe they need to be in some activity, with people requiring him to interact with them. No, I mean, again, don't force the issue. No, but if they're so immersed in just one thing, isang skill lang, isang hobby lang, and then isang group of friends lang, maybe they need to get out of that comfort zone. Maybe, huh? Maybe. Okay. Maybe they need to get into sports. I don't know if you're familiar with this game, Ultimate Frisbee. It's not simply catch and throw and catch. You have to catch it and then throw it to someone ahead of you, and then he throws it to someone ahead of him to get it over into a scoring zone, like a goal, like football, no? And okay, let me show you how. That's my son getting black.
Laros! Wala! Gi in! Laros! Open yun ha! Pico! Watch open side! Oh! Pico! Attack! Pico! Pico!
That's my son. One of my sons. No? Many of my kids got into this game. And it was entirely new to them and that sort of thing. Let's see now, no? This guy here, the guy in black, he's the fifth of my 7 kids. He sprained his ankle rather badly in one game, and he had to walk on crutches for maybe half a week or so. Another one, worse. He fractured his right hand when he landed on it. Kasi he dived for the disc, and I don't know if he got it, but he landed on his right hand and broke his wrist, I think. He broke his wrist, and he was studying architecture at the time, and he was right-handed. Oh gosh, no? He needed surgery and he needed therapy. He needed to be excused from certain requirements in school. And then a third kid tore her ACL. If you people are familiar with sports injuries, it's a rather severe injury, again, requiring surgery and therapy. My mom commented, "Would you please tell your kids to stop playing this game?" Sabi nga, the game has to involve some risk. Otherwise, it's not fun. There has to be some risk. So again, if the kid is risk averse, allergic to risk, don't tell him to get into this kind of game. Maybe you want him to get into swimming. Maybe you want to get him into table tennis or lawn tennis or something like that. No? But get him into something. Sorry.
Tikoy yung in!
Sorry, I'm trying to move to the
Pico! Attack! Pico!
Yeah, okay. You might want to get him into the arts. Again, don't underestimate them and think, oh no, he or she hindi bagay sa kanyang arts. You'd be surprised. Maybe they'll discover that they have some artistic ability. No? Get them into dance. Get them into guitar lessons. Get them into theater. Get them into something that they're not that confident about, maybe. No? Get them into cooking, maybe. No? And by the way, this will help them get real, because we have a lot of kids who think that culinary arts are glamorous, that the field is glamorous. No, it's a very stressful field. If you're just cooking as a hobby, if you're just cooking on the side, and cooking something for your family or baking cookies for your friends, then it's okay. But if you have to earn a living through it, it's very stressful. We had some students who want to take culinary arts in college, and then one mom told her son, "You want to take culinary? I've never seen you in the kitchen. I've never seen you handle a saucepan or anything like that. It turns out the kid wanted to get into culinary because he thought it was glamorous. Because he would watch these, TV shows with chefs. No, 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 no. It's very, very stressful. Another kid wanted to work in a five-star hotel because he thought five-star hotels are glamorous. Again, very powerful people, very rich people, celebrities. No, no. My gosh, work in a five-star hotel is very stressful. Anyway, yan. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. Hindi pwedeng hinog sa pilit. Yung bang hindi pa ready yung bata, pagagawa na natin yung malaking bagay, magiging group leader of some big project.
Sorry, Manny,
Yes.
your slides are not appearing.
Oh my gosh.
You have to
sorry.
share screen
Okay,
of your
wait.
PowerPoint.
Sorry.
Okay.
I don't know at what point. My screen sharing is paused. Yes. Okay. There we go. Yes. Resume share.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, so this
Great.
is what I showed when I was talking about the arts. This is what I showed when I was talking about culinary. Then, okay, timing is everything. Hindi pwedeng hinog sa pilit. If you think the kid is ready to take on a bigger task, okay, sige. But with the adequate conditions. Hindi yung pipilitin natin. No, maybe muna, group discussion, and then siya magre-report, baka pwede yun. Something that taps personality or skill. Kasi wag natin pilitin. Let's not force the issue. Okay, this is very important, especially for high school, but also for grade school. Help them see beyond the present. You see, the present tends to be overwhelming. Diba tayo, nasa online tayo, nasa pandemic tayo, I mean, if you were not stressed out, you must have had great inner resources. Everyone I know was stressed out. The uncertainty, even the so-called solutions like vaccines were also uncertain. Their efficacy was uncertain. Their availability was uncertain. Things like that. No, that's why the present can be overwhelming, but it's the future that gives hope. No matter what we're going through, no matter how difficult it is, really, it is temporary. Really, it is temporary. Now, a certain condition might be permanent, but our attitude towards it is not. Some permanent condition, halimbawa, I don't know, some permanent condition like I don't know, an injury that will prevent a person from performing in ballet or performing in sports. Permanent condition, ganon, Yeah, okay, that's permanent. And maybe you never will dance seriously again or compete at a high level again. But your attitude is not permanent. See? Your attitude, you reframe it, you repackage it, you can see. Hindi to permanente. Okay? Meron pa rin yung solusyon. So, okay, just a side story about a patient of a neurologist. This patient was an artist, painter, okay? And we're almost done, right? He had a serious car accident and suffered brain damage as a result of the accident. And he became colorblind. What the trick of how cruel fate is. He was a painter, an artist, but he became colorblind. So he was looking at the colors and they were all black and white. So hindi na niya alam kung ano gagawin niya. Nung una, sabi niya, okay, maybe he'll try painting from memory, the colors from memory. The result was awful. And then, at a certain point, he shifted to black and white paintings, monochromatic. And he was a big hit as an artist. See, so sometimes you need to repackage, reframe, change the attitude, change the perspective. See beyond the present. Okay, very important. Whatever you set up for them, ownership is very important. See, You might tell the advisory class, okay, goals natin for this year, the following, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How come? I mean, they might say, yeah, okay, right, sige. Or you might tell, okay, what you have to do is the following. Tell a student, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. But there's no ownership. They will be half-hearted about it. And then they'll say, doesn't work eh. Ma'am, it doesn't work eh. Walang full ownership eh. How do you ensure full ownership? You ask them, do you know why this is important? Do you know why it has to be done? Do you know why it must be done this way? Do you know what benefit you will get from it? See? Do you know the importance of the time frame, the schedule? Ayan, magkaka-ownership na siya. Magkaka-ownership na siya. Makikita mo naman eh. Tone of voice, facial expression, you know, yung body language, you can tell kung walang ownership o kung meron. No? Ownership is very important. The time for excuses is over. You tell them, tama na, tama na. See? Get down to work. See? The time to succeed is now. It's not the time for excuses. Or, you know, the circumstances were like this, the traffic was like that, my teammates were like this, the thing was too hard. No. You meet the challenge head on. You break it down. And the time to succeed, as I said, is now. Not some remote, distant area, but now. And thank you very much for your attention. And we can have our question and answer now.